So this is the first video clip of the Biphasic Sleep Cycle Experiment that Nick and I are doing this month. It is June 1st, 2020, and we are here at Mom's house in Decatur, Illinois. And biphasic sleep is something that we have been talking about for a while now, like almost since we met a couple years ago. And we've thought about how it's something that we've always wanted to try, and we never really knew when we would have the chance to do it, because we don't, here in America, really live in a siesta sleep style society, and I could definitely imagine us living in one of those societies at some point, but when is the question. And anyway, with the pandemic, our schedule has changed significantly from what we expected it to be, and we're going to be here all month, pretty disconnected from society for the most part. Neither of us are working right now, so we don't have 9-to-5 jobs that we need to accommodate in our schedule. We have a lot more flexibility in what we, when we're awake and when we're asleep. So we decided to do it now, which is a really cool opportunity. What we're doing is we have decided to do a biphasic, meaning two distinct sleep clumps in a 24-hour day rather than monophasic, which is the typical sleep in one large chunk every 24 hours for about 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours. So we're going to be splitting that up into two, and wanted to do this daily video to just talk about what we're feeling, how it's affecting us, and just remember this experience. So, okay, so today is day one. We are doing, I'll break down as a reminder to myself what we've decided to do. So we've decided that we're going to sleep from 12 to 5, so midnight to 5 a.m. As our first larger chunk of sleep. And this has been recommended from some research that I've been doing that covers 3 full 90-minute sleep cycles. So you get 3 of those plus 30-minute buffer essentially. So that seems like a good plan. So we're gonna do 5 hours from midnight to 5. And then at 1 p.m. we are going to go to sleep, and the goal is going to be to sleep from an hour and a half, so 90 minutes, up to 3 hours. So we basically decided to put a alarm at 4 o'clock. And if we wake up before that, great. If we need all 3 of those hours, great. So that's kind of our schedule. This could be adjusted really to accommodate any 2 chunks of time that you want. That sort of just works for us. We're generally night owls, so staying up till midnight is not crazy. And it allows us to wake up. Here in Decatur right now in June, the sun is rising at 5:30. So we wake up right before the sun rises. There's just a little glimmer of light this morning. And then as we're waking up, the sun is waking up and kind of the world is waking up. So that's been a really nice way for us to time it. Nick had that idea, which was lovely. But this could be modified to a bunch of different hours depending on what you want, what works for your schedule. Okay, so today, little review of how we were feeling this morning. I will start with Nick and try and remember what he was telling me. So he did not have too much trouble falling asleep, which was good. He decided to stop looking at screens completely until at 11. So gave himself a full hour without screens, read a book for that last hour before he went to sleep. And then he was asleep. Waking up was not too bad. He definitely felt like, whoa, I'm surprised the alarm's already ringing. I felt like I just went to bed. So that was a sensation, but when he did hear the alarm, he had a few moments of what he described as his mind racing in a way that felt like he was trying to get back into a dream state, which I thought was interesting to hear about. But he sensed himself doing that, and then breathed, listened to the birds, kind of listened to outside noises to sort of what sounds like be present in the moment, and then he was able to get up pretty quickly. So that was Nick's experience this morning. My experience, I did not stop looking at my phone soon enough, which I knew I was doing. I had also said I was going to give myself an hour before I went to sleep looking at my phone, but with everything that's been happening, I got distracted on social media, actually reading about something very interesting and important, but looking at an organization that's like had some very clear information around like reasons for police defunding, specifically in Minneapolis, but this translates to anywhere. So I was reading about that and emailing the city council members in LA who are approving a budget this morning in regards to police budgeting and other social services. So encouraging them to move funds away from police and into social services. Anyway, I was doing that instead of not looking at my phone before my sleeping. So I didn't start reading until like 11:45. And then I read a little past midnight, but my mind was still very consumed with all of the stuff that I had been looking at before. So it definitely took me a while to fall asleep. When I heard the alarm, I was immediately awake, so much so that I thought, oh my gosh, I have literally not fallen asleep. Like I haven't been asleep at all. This is terrifying. But then I realized that I had just been dreaming. Like I just thought of a dream. So I knew I had been asleep, and that made me feel better about being awake, and made me feel like I had gotten some sleep. So I woke up really fast, the alarm rang, and I sort of like popped out of bed. I was also like anticipating it, like I knew I was gonna be waking up at 5, and Nick said this too, like he was kind of like mentally preparing himself for the idea that he was gonna wake up. It wasn't like, oh, you know, I've been like up all night and like I have to like wake up early to like catch a flight or something. It was a very different feeling, like he was kind of preparing for it, and I think he felt more prepared for it. I also felt prepared, but in a way where I think it may have affected how like relaxed I was to actually fall asleep. But anyway, feeling good now. We have had some green tea. I am reading a chapter every morning of autobiography of a yogi, which I've really been enjoying, and doing that before my morning yoga practice. I think that's it. All right.